So, Namaste everybody. We are in conversation with Swami Ashutosh Ji, and we are discussing about astrology. Swami Ji is a profound wisdom, profound knowledge about astrology. So, Swami Ji, I have a problem that I don't believe in astrology. So, for me, it's like if a planet is hanging up there, I don't understand how it's going to affect me over here in the earth. So what do you have to say for people like me?
If you are looking at the world only from the adibhautic, from that level of just materialistic, so then of course the planets are far away. Now, in the Veda there is one little richa, slok, I'm not sure whether it's from the Veda or where it comes from, and it said, that bindu Tata Pramande, what is in the small is in the big. So whatever is there in the universe is actually within your physiology also. Now, interesting enough, Dr. Tony Nader, Maharaja Nadaram, as we call him, who is the leader of Maharishi's movement now, he in the 90s, in the late 90s, has done a fantastic research, mind-blowing research. And it's actually surprising that never anybody before him has seen this connection, where he located the entire Vedic literature in the physiology. So you can find every part of the Vedic literature, which Jyotish is also a part of, inside your body. You just rename the organs. Instead of calling it ganglia, you're calling it like, we can see here in the chart, the basic ganglia and the 9 grahas. So and interesting enough, if you look at this whole thing a little bit closer, then you see it's not just an analogy, but actually it resembles the ganglia, represents the quality of the respective graha. So there is an intimate connection of everything in the universe, as also reflected in the Veda, inside the body. So we see that is true for every aspect of Vedic literature. We can understand the world only if we are including the Adidevic and the Adhyatmic level. That's why all these theories which are there in modern science, like being it physics, being it biology, being it medicine, being it anything, they all have theories. We speak of this theory and that theory, and ever so often the theories change. That they suddenly realize that actually the theory had some flaws, and they had to make an update or change the theory or completely abolish it and bring a new one like that. So we have different views of the universe. At some stage we believed that there is a flat earth, so that is, then they believed we had just one universe, now we see that we have many universes, now we have a multiverse, and it changes all the time because we have seen more and more and more, and we have always looking for explanations, how does the universe work. But these are all theories. So as long as we only see the bhautic, then we always end up in flaws within the theory. And that is because we are not including the other levels of creation. Now, in Jyotish is from a completely different level. Everything in Vedic science is including the Adhyatmic and the Adidevic. So if you look at the grahas only as some balls hanging around there, going around the sun and millions of kilometers away, naturally you will have that problem and say, what do I care? What effect would have Jupiter or Shani or anyone out there on me which are so far away? Right, so that doubt would be there. But if you look it from a different way, that there are actually devatas, and it's reflected in your physiology inside also. Now there is a whole system, a starting point in your life, which is when you are born. And from that point, we can see from the position of the planets who you are, what are your qualities, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and not only that, but also when are certain things manifesting and when are certain things disappearing, when are problems coming, when is a good time, when is a bad time. It maybe sounds strange, and many things in Jyotish is definitely strange, in the sense that one is surprised to see that it works. Now I can give you some examples. Jyotish is basically consisting just of 9 grahas, means planets. Then we have 12 rashis. These are the signs in which the planets are going. We call them in Sanskrit Mesh, Vrishab, Mithun, like that. And then we have these 12 signs in 12 houses. Now the houses change according to the moment you are born. Whatever sign has been rising in the east is your top house, your first house. And then the others go according to the how they are. That means if it's the 5th, then there will be let's say you're born in Simha Rashi, which is the 5th one, then that is your first house. And then according to that, the 2nd house will be then Kanya, and the 3rd house will be Tula, so that will be the first one is 5th sign, and the 2nd house is the 6th sign, like that. So they shift a little bit like this. So that is this thing, and the next sort of grid you put on your thing are the nakshatras. There are 27 nakshatras. So you have 9, 12 and 27. So this is your alphabet. Now if you look in Western astrology, they look at the events only when they see, okay, a certain planet is again or in a certain relationship to another planet in your chart, so then something would happen or not happen or blocked or whatever. In the Vedic astrology there is one thing more, and that is called dashas. There are different dasha periods, but mostly we use Vimshotri dasha, and that is a very interesting thing which I don't understand. Don't ask me why it is like this. And I don't think anybody can answer it. It's just the rishis, our Vedic rishis, have seen it, and to my big surprise and everybody's surprise, it 100% works. I had people like you who I taught them meditation, and whenever the people say, well, I have some problem here and there, I ask them, okay, give me your date of birth, time and all that. And so many people in India also, they say, we not believe in Kundalis. We don't do that. I said, okay, you may don't do it, but you may know when you're born. Then they give it to me, and then I can see. Now I'll tell you a little story what happened. So there was one family, I was helping them, and the wife had cancer. I helped her with Ayurveda. We went to Dr. Triguna and like that, and did everything we could from that side. And then of course I also asked for the Jyotish chart, and fortunately I went with that chart alone to the Jyotishi. I didn't take her or anyone of the family with me. And the Jyotishi looked at the chart and said, don't waste your time with this lady. She will die within 2 months. Then I said to the Jyotishi, listen, are you sure? Because according to Triguna she's fine, according to allopathic medicine she's also fine, everybody says she's fine, and now you say she will gonna die. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that she should die according to the Jyotish if all the doctors and the Ayurvedic people were saying she's fine. Well, 2 months later I got an email from the husband. They went to America. My wife died.
Oh my God.
So I didn't do anything or say anything because the husband, was not believing in Jyotish. About 9 months down the line, he called me up and said, I have to speak to you. I'm not sure whether I can. He had a small company with maybe 20 people like that. I'm not sure whether I can pay my workers the next month. It's very difficult. Then I asked him, do you have your Kundali? Then he told me, no, we don't do this in our family. We're not believing in it like you are. So then I told him, but please give me your time. And while we were speaking on the phone, I quickly on my computer made his chart, and I told him, and I could see it easily from the Dasha period, that the difficult time has started in October, and since beginning of January it's going a little bit better. Hello, are you still there? He said, yes, I'm here, but I'm completely shocked. I said, why? Because you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly like that. I have some hope, it's going a little bit better, and the problem started in October. How did you get to know so quickly? Then I said, listen, I'm not that much of a great Jyotishi, and it was very obvious in your chart. If you want to meet a good Jyotishi, we can meet maybe, let me ask him. So I was sitting in South Delhi, so I phoned my friend Bibika Das in Noida, and my friend is from Gurgaon. So I phoned in Noida, and the Jyotish said, yes, we can come. So he came, picked me up in Saudex, and in his car we went to Noida and to the Jyotishi. And when he entered the door, because I gave already the date of birth and time and place to the Jyotishi, when he entered the door, before he sat down, the Jyotishi told him everything about him. How he is, how his kids are, that his wife died, everything. I didn't tell anything to the Jyotishi. This guy was just standing in the door frame and said, why did I come with any clothes on? Nobody ever pulled me down to my underpants within 2 minutes. Everything was there. He was so shocked. And from that day on, he never did any major decision, any greater plan without consulting a Jyotishi. It's not a belief system. Bodhi, it is a science. Are you believing in mathematics?
Yes.
Then you can believe in Jyotish, because it's all mathematics.
Wow. So maybe I'll just show my Kundli to you. You can just tell me what's dosha I am having in my Kundli.
Well, what we see in the Kundali is the good times, the bad times, and all what we have to take care of. No, then we can take precautions. Now somebody asked, can we influence it? What can we do? Now the difference between Western astrology and Vedic astrology is that in the Vedic astrology there is a whole system. Astrology, or as it is called Jyotish, is one of the 6 Vedangas, and there is another of the 6 Vedangas which is called Kalp, and they go hand in hand. Jyotish is the mathematical part, it's the eye of the Veda. You say you can see the past and the future and the present, and the Kalp stands for change. Kalp, the word Kalp means to change, to alter. So in Western astrology this is not there. So in Western astrology, which is different in many ways, may people observe if they make a Western chart, then they may have a different lagna, a different ascendant, not the ascendant is the same, a different position of the planets. The planets may be in different rashis. In different rashis, that means in different signs. It's shifted by I think right now it's about 23 degrees. So if you're born between the 14th, the 15th and the 21st of each month, then the Western and the Indian is the same. If you're born at any other date, then there is a difference of one sign. That means the planets are different. That is because of the ayanams, and now we're not going into these technical details what that all exactly means, but just that one is aware of that. If somebody looks into astrology and Jyotish, there is a difference. And one major difference is that in Jyotish we have the capabilities or the knowledge or the technology to change, to influence. Now how? You see, whatever is written will happen. Whatever food you have eaten, you will have to pay for it. The option you have is how to pay. Maybe you become friend with the hotel owner and you said, I can wash your dishes, maybe I don't have money right now. And he lets you go by just doing some little help, or he likes you so much, or you give him a painting. But the mode of payment, that you can alter. So that's how in Jyotish you can influence the situation. So instead of going through a certain misery or difficulty or obstacles, you pay your bill in a different way. Now again you have to understand, you are not asking Saturn planet somewhere out there. You ask the Devata value of Saturn. These are all Devatas. You ask the Devata of Saturn to do something for you. You ask the Surya Devata, or you ask the Mangal Devata, you ask the Devata. You can only understand Jyotish if you understand the Adidevic level of creation. You only can understand Ayurveda in full if you understand the Adidevic level of creation. And this is for every science, even physics, even anything. Meteorology, anything. We would have a much better theory if we understand that level. On that level you can only understand it if you actually experience it, if you see it. That's why it's called Jyotish and not Svark-Ganit. You could call it Brahman Ganit, for example. You could say something like that, because that's what you basically do. But no, it is called Jyotish. Jyotish means light. So what light? See, if you make any experience, if you look at the description of Maharishi Patanjali, when he describes the experience of gaining knowledge, he will say, Ritam Paratatra Pragya is a sutra. So you get that knowledge. So that pragya comes out of a light. If you make that experience in your meditation, you get into the light, and you get out of the light the knowledge comes. Out of the light the Devata comes. So you have this experience. So that's why this Jyoti word is there. It's the light. So you see, you get this experience and you see an event. Now the calculation part is there to verify what you see. So you have seen something, and then you want to make sure you didn't hallucinate, but that you were actually having a clear experience. You make the calculation, you see it, oh yes, he goes, some Rahu is coming. So then you know.